Good evening, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the online Dhamma exploration for the Malaysian Buddhist Examination 2025. This is for the senior and higher level. Good evening, everyone. My name is Wei Ken. Today, I'm the only one hosting and co-hosting the session. All right, we'll begin very soon. While we wait for a few minutes, we wait for a few more people to join in if there are more participants. This year, it seems that we have few participants. All right, that's fine. It's okay. For those of you who are joining in, I hope you can feel free to share your questions. Feel free to also share your reflections and your thoughts and your comments. Okay. All right. So we'll play a Buddhist song in the background while we wait for a few minutes. We shall wait for a few more participants to join in. Okay. So let me share. Let me share a song. All right, let me do that now. Am I able to share a song? Let me see. Or can I just share the sound? Okay, no worries. I'll share the YouTube. I'll share the YouTube video. Okay, let me do that right now. Okay, let's hope we are able to hear it.
There's a place I know, a dream that I could be, but standing on this land, it's far away from me. I search far and wide for answers to my quest. From noble ones I found, I've what it takes to start this journey. Oh, the Dhamma's like a boat to me. The noble truths are my compasses. I'll steer the wheel with the Eightfold Path to navigate the sea of samsara.
Years and years go by, I'm stranded at the sea. My spirit starts to fade from hardships and loneliness.
But soon I realize that I'm not alone in
I'm not
this.
alone.
We're in the same boat.
We'll sail together. Oh, the Dhamma's like a boat to us. The noble truths are our compasses. We'll steer the wheel with the Eightfold Path to navigate the sea of samsara. There will be storms ahead of us and waves that try to break our dreams. We'll keep moving on to find the path that will lead us through the sea of samsara. Dhamma's like a boat to us. The noble truths are our compasses. We'll steer the wheel with the Eightfold Path to navigate the sea of samsara. There will be storms ahead of us and waves that try to break our dreams. We'll keep moving on to find the path that will lead us through the sea of samsara. Oh, the Dhamma's like a boat to us. The noble truths are our compasses. We'll steer the wheel with the Eightfold Path to navigate the sea of samsara. Storms ahead of us and waves that try to break our dreams. We'll keep moving on to find the path that will lead us through the sea of samsara. We'll navigate the sea of samsara.
All right. Thank you, everyone. That was the song Sea of Samsara by Buddy Sings. In fact, Buddy Sings is one of the Buddhist bands in Malaysia. They have recently launched their first music album. Okay. And it's just a few weeks ago. And this is one of their album launch shirts. So you can see the title of the name of their new album is called Voyage. Yeah, Voyage means the journey on the sea or the journey through the ocean. Okay, and so Voyage, and because one of the highlights of the album is the song Sea of Samsara. This calls us back to one of the very beautiful imageries in the Buddhist texts. Yes, Voyage can search on YouTube. Yeah, this calls us back to one of the uh, very beautiful imageries in the Buddhist texts, and that imagery is the analogy of the triple gem, the role of the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. All right, so we're all travelers or wanderers on this journey or on this voyage, and the Dhamma is like the ship or the boat, the ship that carries us to the other shore, to the further shore, right? And carries us to safety and security. And amidst the sea of samsara, the ocean of samsara, the ocean of dukkha, the Buddha, the Sangha is like the people who have been saved, saved through the ship of Dhamma, who have been carried to the further shore. All right, that's the Sangha. And now, of course, the Sangha are the people who are helping us as well, who are helping us, supporting us, encouraging us on this journey. And who is the captain of the ship? Who is the one who pilots the ship? Who is the one who drives and maneuvers the ship to navigate through the sea of samsara? That is the Buddha himself. The Buddha himself is the captain, the pilot of the ship. So this is an analogy that reminds us of the role of the triple gem and the value of the triple gem, how the triple gem supports our journey. This imagery is very beautiful because it helps us, it pictures this danger of samsara. Imagine the very strong and turbulent waves of the ocean, right? All the dangers and the uncertainties and the precarity of samsara, of this round of rebirth, and how the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha become our secure refuge, become our true refuge, how they provide us with the wisdom, with the understanding of reality, with the methods and the ways to overcome this suffering, to find a way to train our mind, train our hearts, to cultivate this sila and samadhi and panya. All right, so this is a very beautiful imagery. Thank you, Brother Paul. Brother Khor is also involved in this album. Yeah, I am one of the I'm one of the guest singers. I wasn't one of the main vocals. I'm one of the backing vocals. I sang one of the backing vocal tracks in the Sea of Samsara song. So if you can look it up on YouTube if you want to. It's a very good album, very beautiful songs. Okay, good. So that's a short introduction. And with that in mind, I hope that we could have that sense of appreciation for the triple gem as we begin our opening puja. All right, let's go to our opening puja. Okay, you should be able to see my screen. Yeah. All right, excellent. Okay, so brothers and sisters, good evening and welcome to the online Dhamma exploration for the Malaysian Buddhist examination. Whether or not you're a candidate for the examination, you're welcome to join us. In fact, we would encourage you to register for the examination. Now, this year, the registration has closed, so perhaps next year you could consider registering for the examination, becoming a candidate, and taking the examination, okay? All right, yes. Ma Nivata Abhikama, one of the slogans, one of the mottos of our online Dhamma exploration. Every year I would say this tagline or say this quote from the suttas. This reflects the relentless spirit of the Buddha, and it's something we can emulate as well. This online Dhamma exploration event is brought to you in collaboration. This is the Young Buddhist Association of Malaysia, the KL and Selangor State Liaison Committee, all right, Ma Fo Ching, okay, and as well as the Theravada Buddhist Council of Malaysia Youth Arm, which is the MITA group, Malaysian Yobana Theravada Transformative Alliance, okay, so this is brought to you by the two organizations. Let's begin our opening service, our Vandana. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us posture our hearts as we direct our reverence to the Triple Gem. We pay homage to the Buddha, let us honor the teacher, the supremely exalted one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the blessed Lord, the perfected one, the supremely awakened Buddha. Sarana, let us go for refuge, the threefold refuge, to the Supreme Buddha, the teacher of gods and humans, to the sublime Dhamma, the truth and the way to ultimate joy, and to the noble Sangha, the protector of Lord Buddha's message. We go for refuge, we seek no other refuge. Buddhang saranam gacchami, Dhammang saranam gacchami, Sanghang saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammang saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang saranam gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddhang saranam gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranam gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for refuge, I go to the Dhamma for refuge, I go to the Sangha for refuge. For the second time, I go to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha for refuge. For the third time, I go to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha for refuge. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right, sadhu, sadhu, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining us for this year's online Dhamma exploration. This is for the senior and higher level. The senior and higher level covers a much wider range of topics, and the difficulty level is much higher, all right, compared to the junior and preliminary level, because it is not multiple choice questions. These are essay writing questions. So, well, if you enjoy writing essays, maybe this is not difficult for you. Maybe this is something easy for you, right? So, difficulty level might be dependent on the candidate taking the examination, but it does cover a wider range of topics. And we only have 2 sessions this year. Maybe next year I might want to try to aim for more sessions, a higher number of sessions, perhaps. We'll see. We have to see our schedule for next year. However, what I want to emphasize is that I'm not able to cover all the topics, perhaps. Okay, so but if you're signing up for the senior and higher level, I trust that you have gone through some of the textbooks, textbook materials. I trust that you have been doing some studying for yourself as well. If there are any questions or any you want to share any of your experiences in terms of taking the examination for the senior and higher level, you can feel free to share. You can share it during this session, or you can share it in the WhatsApp group as well. That's fine. Okay. I'll try to cover as much as we can. We'll see. Okay. And if you, in particular, if you have any questions, do feel free to raise your questions in the session so that we could, so that we could discuss together. Okay, I want to make this a more interactive session. All of you are welcome to discuss and share and learn together. All right, so let's look at some of the popular topics. We'll look at some past year questions. We'll look at some of the popular topics. And in fact, if you know how, if you have seen some of the past year papers, you will notice that a lot of the main topics and main themes are very popular questions. So those are the main themes that you could, I think, focus on learning and master how to write the essay for those themes. And I think you're good to go for the examination. All right, good. So let's take a look at some of the past year questions. All right, let me share the past year papers. Okay. So these are some of the types of questions that are asked. We can take a look at the syllabus. So for senior stage, you have essentially the Buddha and then the Dhamma and the Sangha. These are the three big sections, and then there's the last one is general Buddhist practice. So these are the four main sections, you might say, for the senior stage and also the higher stage as well. So for the part A, for the section on the Buddha, you need to know the life of the Buddha and some of the important Jataka stories, and then the history of Buddhism. Part B, the section on the Dhamma, you need to know some important suttas as well as some verses from the Dhammapada. Part C, the section on the Sangha, you need to know some of the famous, well-known Arahanta disciples, as well as some of the lay followers. And then, excuse me. And then for part D, the section on the practice, you need to understand how to apply certain Buddhist doctrines and Buddhist practices, such as the 5 precepts. All right, that's one example. Or the practice of meditation. Okay, mental cultivation. These are some examples. All right, so these are the 4 big sections. If you master these 4 big themes, you're good to go. Okay, for the examination. Okay, yeah, so these are some of the topics they would look at. All right, the life of Buddha, the history of Buddhism, especially the first 3 councils, and then the Dhamma and the suttas. These are some of the important Dhamma topics you need to understand. The 4 Noble Truths, meritorious and demeritorious actions, cause and effect, karma, the doctrine of karma and rebirth, and then the 5 hindrances, and then the Karaniya Metta Sutta. Okay, for general Buddhist practice, in the syllabus, they list 2 suttas, Parabhava Sutta, the sutta on downfall. Okay, what is the downfall of humanity? Parabhava Sutta. And also Vyagapaja Sutta. Vyagapaja Sutta is the discourse on the factors leading to welfare and well-being. The factors leading to welfare and joy in this life and future lives as well. And then for mental cultivation, you need to understand Metta Bhavana, but not just Metta Bhavana. Some of the popular questions in the past year paper include Samatha and Vipassana meditation. So this is also what you need to know. All right, so this is a senior stage. This one is last year, 2024. This was last year's slide deck. Okay, actually there is a much more comprehensive course. I think if you are signing up for the senior or higher stage, you would have known of this course already, I assume. So this one is much more comprehensive. It covers the topics in much greater detail. Okay, so please feel free to, I mean, you're welcome to sign up for this course. I think they have it every year, I believe, from January to August. So it's almost a 6 to 8 months course. All right, so we have very good lecturers and good teachers and good coaches and facilitators for this course. Okay, good. So this is last year's as well. All right, I need to update my slides for this year. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at some of the past year questions, shall we? So this is for the senior stage. Have you seen some of the past year questions already? For senior level, I'm sure you have started your studying. All right, so look at the 10 parami qualities. What are the 10 parami qualities? Describe how the Buddha perfected this paramita with stories from the Jatakas. Okay, this is one example. List 5 contributions of the Buddha to humanity. Describe one contribution in detail with evidence from the suttas. Okay. Give a brief account of the Third Buddhist Council, when and where. What is the reason for initiating this council? Okay. All right, you all know what is the reason for the Third Buddhist Council? Anyone knows? Let's look at the chat. Let's see if anyone wants to answer or share. Okay, not yet. Anyone in the okay. All right. So one of the reasons behind the initiation of the Third Buddhist Council is because of disputes in Dhamma doctrines. At that time, there were a number of different schools of Buddhism that have arisen. And in order to settle those disputes, in order to find out what are the true doctrines, so this council was called. But not just doctrinal disputes, there's also a lot of monks who are, so to speak, fake monks who are ordained in robes. They wear the Buddhist monks' robes, but they are not behaving in accordance with the spirit and the letter of the Vinaya. They're not behaving in accordance with the Dhamma. All right, so there are a lot of fake monks as well. They're not sincerely pursuing the spiritual life. All right, so you have people like that, and therefore this council was called as well. All right, so that's the reason behind the calling of the Third Buddhist Council. And yeah, so those are some of the reasons you need to know, and what happened during the Third Buddhist Council. All right, what were the important contributions of the Third Buddhist Council? Do you all know the importance of the Third Buddhist Council? All right, as a result of the Third Buddhist Council, the Emperor Ashoka, King Ashoka, he made Buddhism a world religion. He makes the Buddha Sasana a world religion because he's sent out. Well, I mean, by then already you could say, or you could argue, that Buddha Sasana was already a world religion in the sense that it has already been going out to many different regions in the world already. But this Third Buddhist Council makes it extra special in the sense that Emperor Asoka, King Asoka, was a lot more intentional in sending out missionaries to different regions in Asia, right? In Asia, especially in Southeast Asia. And therefore, you have monks and nuns, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, who were sent by King Asoka to different countries, right? To Thailand, to Burma or Myanmar, to Sri Lanka, as well as to many other countries, to Laos and Cambodia, to the northern parts of Malaysia. At that time, there wasn't Malaysia yet, but to some of the northern regions of what is later called Malaysia, and so on. So these are some important lands and important nations and kingdoms where the bhikkhu and bhikkhunis of the Third Buddhist Council travel. They travel to these nations and kingdoms in order to propagate the true Dhamma of the Buddha and to sustain the longevity of the Buddha Sasana. So these are some of the reasons for the Third Buddhist Council. Okay, so these you need to know these facts, and then you need to write an essay on it. All right, good. Can do that. You can do that. All right, let's look at Part B. An example of Part B. Yeah. Okay, another example of Part A. 9 virtues of the Buddha. This one you need to memorize. Iti piso bhagava araham samma sambuddho vijjacharana sampanno. Okay, the 9 virtues of the Buddha. And then you need to give examples and stories from his life. All right? Give a brief account of the First Buddhist Council. Okay, you need to know that as well. All right, good. Okay, so these are some of the questions. As you can see, actually these questions are quite quite common in the sense that they concern the virtues and the life stories of the Buddha, right? So they are repeated sometimes as well. So it's good to know these major themes, all right? Okay, now let's look at section B on the Dhamma. These are examples of questions. What are the 6 virtues of the Dhamma? Again, you need to memorize. You need to memorize and you need to know the meaning of the words as well. The 6 virtues of the Dhamma, remember the Dhamma Nusati. Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Sandindiko Akaliko. Okay, so those 6 virtues of the Dhamma you have to memorize and you have to understand the meaning. What are the 4 noble truths? Okay. What are the 4 noble truths? What is another name for the 4th noble truth? That's the Noble Eightfold Path. That's the answer. All right. Okay, good. So you need to talk about the 4 noble truths. Okay, this one is the Dhammapada verse. So you need to explain this Dhammapada verse. What is the meaning of it? And of course, over here you can see that it is related to the doctrine of karma and rebirth, right? The evildoer grieves here, he grieves in the hereafter, he grieves in both worlds. He grieves, he perishes, seeing his own impure deed, right? In this life, in the next life as well. So this concerns the doctrine of karma and rebirth, as you can see. All right? Good. Let's continue. Let's look at... this one is the 3 characteristics of existence, right? This one is anicca, dukkha, anatta. You also have to know this and you have to explain it. Okay, maybe let's look at more examples. Any more examples? The Buddha's teaching on cause and effect. Kamma vipaka, the doctrine of dependent origination. Paticca samuppada. Okay? And then the 9 virtues of the Sangha. All right, this one is the Sangha, yeah, the section on the Sangha. This one is Sangha Nusati. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Arahato Savaka Sangho. Okay? All right, then this one is, they zoom in on one specific disciple of the Buddha, Venerable Ananda. So talk about the life, an example of Venerable Ananda. How did Venerable Ananda qualify for the first Buddhist council? All right. And then the next one is a lay disciple, the chief female lay follower of the Buddha, Visakha. She's a rich and very wise lay woman, lay follower. Okay, she attained Sotapanna, you know, at which age? You know, Visakha, at which age, at what age did she attain Sotapanna? You all know? Anyone knows? Visakha. Anyone? No? Okay. All right. Visakha, she attained the Sotapanna stream entry, the first stage of awakening, the first stage of Nibbana at the age of 7 when she was a young girl. All right. And then after she was married, her husband's father, her father-in-law, her husband's father, was not yet a follower of the Buddha. He was, at that time, he was a follower of another spiritual teacher. So he was not very happy when Visakha would invite the monks and the nuns, all right, the bhikkhus and the bhikkhunis, the sangha, to come to her house because she wants to support them. She wants to make an offering to them. She wants to learn from them. She wants to listen to their Dhamma teaching. So this father-in-law is not really happy, okay? Is not happy. Why is she inviting all these monks who are in the Buddha Sangha? Because at that time, he was a follower of another spiritual teacher. So then Visakha, using her wisdom, using her empathy with the father-in-law, using her skill in teaching, skill in communication, skill in persuasion, she was able to convert the father-in-law. She was able to transform the heart and the mind of the father-in-law until the father-in-law comes to develop faith and confidence in the true spiritual teacher, in the Buddha Siddhartha Gautama. So that is one of the important qualities of Visakha. She was able to use her wisdom and use her skill in communication in order to draw people, in order to draw people and to persuade people into the into the sasana of the Buddha, into the path of training that is taught by the Buddha, all right, into the Dhamma Vinaya. All right, so that's very beautiful, right? So that's one of the qualities of Visakha. She's also a very rich young woman, yes, a rich young woman, rich woman. She's also a very rich woman supporter of the Buddha, and therefore she also donated an entire monastery to the Buddha and his Sangha. In fact, I have been to India before for a pilgrimage tour, and I've also visited that monastery that was offered and given by Visakha to the Sangha. So it's beautiful, all right? So that's one of the qualities of Visakha as well. And it is quite insightful to read the story of the aspiration of Visakha. When Visakha makes her aspiration to offer the monastery to the Arahanta disciples, to the Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni Sangha of the Buddha, she makes her aspirations. She wishes that all the Arahanta monks, all the Arahanta nuns who come to the city of Savatthi would be able to be supported by her. They would be able to obtain food and drink from her, or they're able to stay at the place that she's offering them. So these are the noble aspirations of Visakha, which makes her a very devoted disciple, a very devoted supporter and follower of the Buddha and his Sangha. You can see? All right, so these are some of the contributions and the qualities of Visakha. Right? So these are some examples. Again, you have to know these stories and you have to write an essay on these stories. Okay? It's important to strategize your time, yeah? You only have, wait, let's see how much time you have. I think you only have 2 hours, is that right? Let's check the time. Yes, there will be one paper of 2 hours duration. Okay, right. So you need to answer 5 questions, is it? Ah, yes, 5 questions. All of the questions in section 1. Okay, section 1 is multiple choice questions, and 4 questions in section 2. So 4 essay questions and 20 multiple choice questions. So you need to, well, the strategy that we recommend is you answer the multiple choice questions quickly, as fast as you can, within 10 to 15 minutes, okay? All right? And then you have around 15 to 20 minutes per essay. Let's say you have around 20 minutes per essay. Oh, maybe more than that. Maybe 20 to 25 minutes, okay? Let's say you have around 20 to 25 minutes an essay, so you need to strategize. If you have 20 minutes, how many words can you write for the essay? And you have to quickly finish the essay within 20 minutes and then move on to the next topic. Because you need to answer one topic from each section. Understand? One essay question for each section. In total, you have 4 essays. Yeah. So if you finish your multiple choice questions quickly, you might have around 20 to 25 minutes per essay. Let's aim for 20 minutes, all right? So that you have also a bit of a buffer time as well, okay? So you need to strategize in terms of the timing. Okay, good. Let's look at more examples of past year questions. All right. 9 virtues of the Sangha, the qualities and the life of Venerable Sariputta. How did Venerable Sariputta become the chief disciple of the Buddha? How was it? How did he become the chief disciple of the Buddha? You can also learn about this. Describe the virtues and actions of Anathapindika, which qualified him as the chief male patron or male supporter of the Sangha led by the Buddha. All right. So what are the stories of Anathapindika? You all know how Anathapindika became a disciple of the Buddha? All right. Right, the Buddha was visiting the town, and then what did Anatta offer to the Buddha? You all know? Do you all know the story? Covering the park with gold coins, right? Stories like that. So it's good to know these stories. Then you can write the essay. Okay, good. The 9 virtues of the Sangha as a field of merit. What is field of merit in Pali? Field of merit in Pali is Punya Kheta, Punya Khetang. All right, Punya is meritoriousness, righteousness, meritorious energy, meritorious kindness, okay? That is Punya, meritoriousness. And then field is Kheta or Khetang, Kheta. Right? Punya Kheta, we also recite this in our chanting, right? Anuttarang Punya Khetang Lokasa, okay? The incomparable supreme field of meritoriousness for the world. All right. So that's the Sangha. And then who is Venerable Mahakassapa, one of the very important disciples of the Buddha? What was his role in the first Buddhist council and the importance in the history of the Buddha Sasana? All right. So after Queen Mahamaya passed away, the birth mother of the Prince Gautama, who was the foster mother, who was the one who nursed and nurtured the baby Bodhisattva? The answer is the Queen Mahapajapati Gautami. Now she is really important in history because she is the you might say she's the founder or she's the co-founder of the Bhikkhuni Sangha because she was the first Bhikkhuni. All right, you could say she's a co-founder because, of course, the Buddha is the one who founded the Bhikkhu Sangha and the Bhikkhuni Sangha. But in a way, she also co-founded the Bhikkhuni Sangha because she had a very important role to play in the count of the Bhikkhuni Sangha. So in a way, she's the most senior leader of the Bhikkhuni Sangha. She's the most senior Bhikkhuni in the Bhikkhuni Sangha. All right. So what role did she play in the formation of the Bhikkhuni Sangha? So she's a very important woman in history, a very important Bhikkhuni in history because in this historical era of the Buddha Gautama, she is the very first Bhikkhuni. All right. And her role as the mother to Prince Siddhartha Gautama is actually part of the reason and part of the story in the formation of the Bhikkhuni Sangha. Do you know that story? You all know the story? Remember the Buddha in the beginning, he did not immediately agree to allow women to go forth in the renunciant life. Remember that? So at first, the Buddha did not immediately say yes, right? He wants them to consider, reconsider, right? He did not immediately say yes to allow women to go forth as go forth means papaja, to go forth as an ordained renunciant, as a renunciant, as someone who has renounced the householder life, as a homeless renunciant. All right, the Buddha in the beginning he did not say yes. Then part of the story is when when Venerable Ananda goes to the Buddha and he reminds the Buddha of the kindness and the generosity of Queen Mahapajapati Gautami as a mother to the Buddha when he was a young baby Bodhisattva, when he was a young boy, a young prince, and therefore this is her role. Queen Mahapajapati Gautami's role as the mother is also crucial in the story of the formation of the Bhikkhuni Sangha. So, of course, when she becomes the Bhikkhuni, now she's Venerable Mahapajapati Gautami. Okay? So, there are also a few very important, very critical suttas in the collection of suttas where the Buddha speaks to Gautami, speaks to Venerable Gautami. And those are some of the most beautiful suttas you can find. All right? So, that's the importance of her role. Okay, so these are some examples. Do we have more examples? Let's see. All right, Part D. Part D is Section D on Buddhist practice. So you need to know about 5 precepts. You need to know about filial piety and gratitude. Okay, Sigalovada Sutta, loving kindness meditation. These are examples. Do we have more examples? Let's take a look. Mental cultivation, metta bhavana. All right, loving kindness meditation. Okay, very good. 5 precepts, loving kindness meditation. This is why you need to know the sutta. What are the 11 benefits of loving kindness meditation? You need to know the sutta. And what is the Buddhist teaching of gratitude? You can see the theme of gratitude is a common question, right? So what are some of the suttas on gratitude? There are a lot of good suttas on gratitude. One of the suttas talk about gratitude to parents. Okay, one of the suttas talks about knowing what has been done and feeling grateful for what has been done. In Mandarin, we say 知恩感恩. The language of the suttas is, kata nyuta kata vedi, 知恩感恩. Knowing what has been done, kata nyuta, anyu is to know. Kata means what has been done, what has been carried out, what has been implemented, what has been acted. Okay, that's kata. Anyu means to know. All right, to know. So to know what has been done. Do you know what other people have done for you? Okay, kata nyuta. Kata vedi. Vedana, to feel, to appreciate, to feel thankful and grateful. 知恩感恩. Kata nyuta, kata vedi. To know what has been done and to feel what has been done. To appreciate what has been done. This is gratitude. Thankfulness and gratefulness. Okay, so that's another sutta. There's another one sutta on how gratitude and thankfulness is one of the keys to jhana. Wow. Any one of you here, you aspire to experience the great joy and the bliss of meditation, the bliss of jhana. One of the very key qualities to cultivate is gratitude. So there's one sutta that talks about the 5 factors you need to cultivate before you can clear the barriers to entering jhana, to attaining jhana. And one of the important barriers is not feeling thankful, not being grateful. Right? So that's another sutta that explores gratitude as well. So there are a lot of good examples from the suttas that talk about the importance of gratitude, the value of gratitude, the quality of gratitude. Okay, so there's also the Mangala Sutta. Mangala Sutta, gratitude, Khatanyuta, is also one of the great blessings in the context of other virtues. What is the context of other virtues in the Mangala Sutta? You have humility, you have contentment, you have respect, and you have gratitude. All right, humility, contentment, respect, gratitude. Right. So this is one of the verses in the Mangala Sutta, the blessings of the virtues. All right, so these are different examples of suttas that talk about gratitude. You don't need to know all of them because there are many suttas. Perhaps you could pick 3 to 4 to 5 suttas that talk about gratitude, and then you can elaborate on these examples to write your essay for the answer. Okay, so these are some examples. Okay, any questions? Anyone wants to ask any questions? Any questions? Okay, let me pause here. Let me see if there are any questions. I'll give you all 10 seconds to think if you have any questions or any comments or reflections at this point. All right, let's proceed. Okay, let's take a look at the higher stage level. Now, the higher stage level is actually very similar, but you have to write more essays. You have to write 5 essays. So the higher stage is actually quite similar. In fact, the questions are quite similar, to be honest. But of course, because it's a higher stage, you're expected to be more knowledgeable. You're expected to write longer essays. You're expected to have more substance and content in your essay. Yeah. So 3 hours, you need to write 5 essays. Again, each section or each part, you have to choose 1 question. All right, and then in the remaining questions, you have to choose another 1 question. So 4 plus 1, you have to write 5 essays. Okay, yeah. All right, so let's take a look at what you need to know about the syllabus. So again, you have to know the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and you need to know extra information. So let's take a look at the extra information. All right. Emperor Asoka and his missions. Okay, the life of the Buddha, from the life of Buddha, and then the Jataka stories, and then history of Buddhism, Emperor Asoka and his missions. Okay, what did he do? What were his contributions? Okay, now the topics under the Dhamma. All right. What is the Dhamma? What is the Dhamma Vinaya? What is the Buddha's Dhamma? What is the Buddha's message? Is it a philosophy? Is it a religion? Is it a spiritual path? Is it an ethical system? Is it a social justice movement? All right, what is it? Okay, think about that, right? Write about that. Karma, the doctrine of karma. What is karma? What is the mechanism of karma? What is the nature of karma? What is the rising and falling, the ascent and descent of karma? All right, bhava, life. This one you need to know the wheel of life. Okay, wheel of life, the origin of life, the rebirth, the realms of existence, the realms of rebirth. And then paticca samuppada, the doctrine of dependent origination. Okay, the wheel of life based on this law. Okay, good. So far, so good. Okay, anatta. This one is deep doctrine, complex doctrine, challenging doctrine for many people. The doctrine of anatta, non-self. All right, and then what is nibbana? What is the nature of nibbana? What is the goal of the Buddhist path? The characteristics of nibbana, all right, and the way to nibbana. So this is the samatha and vipassana meditation, and then the arahant, atta loka dhamma, the 8 bodhi conditions. All right, this you need to know about the quality of equanimity, upekha. All right, and then ratana sutta. All right, the 3 jewels. Okay, and then under the Dhammapada, you need to know some important verses as well. All right, part C, the Sangha, you need to know the monks and nuns, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, as well as some of the important and prominent lay followers like Anatta Bhinika, Visakha, King Bimbisara, King Pasenadi, and so on. Okay, Queen Queen Malika, Queen Malika, example. All right, so these are some of the important lay followers. All right, and then on general Buddhist practice, you should know the Sikalovada Sutta, the Vasana Sutta, the Samatha and Vipassana meditation. Okay. So for senior level, loving kindness meditation. For higher level, Vipassana and Samatha meditation. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at some examples once again. So you can see the questions are quite similar, right? The 10 parami qualities, the Jataka stories, okay? And then 4 major events in the life of the Buddha. Explain the event that is most significant and led to the Buddha's 45 years of selfless missionary work. What is the most significant event in the life of the Buddha, you know? Okay, the most significant event is the Buddha himself, is the very becoming of the Buddha, is the very Buddhahood of the Buddha. That is the most important event. So you have the birth of the prince, and then you have the Buddhahood of the Buddha, and then you have the first sutta, the first turning of the wheel, the revolution of the wheel of truth, the Dhammacakkappavattana. And then finally, the Mahaparinibbana, the final passing away, the final Parinibbana of the Buddha. So these are the 4 important events. Why are these important? What is the significance of these 4 events? Okay, so these are good examples, all right? And third Buddhist council, where and when, why it was held. All right, these are again common questions, but because of the higher stage, you are expected to have more substance and to have more knowledge about these topics. What are the 9 virtues of the Buddha? Major events in the life of the Buddha, how he has served humanity selflessly. So it's good to remember and memorize some stories from the life of the Buddha. Give a brief account of the first Buddhist council, highlight its importance in the history of Buddhism. Okay. 9 qualities: great physician, Bissako. A great doctor, a great physician. Wow, this is beautiful. All right. This one is good. How is the Buddha a great physician? You all know how? Any thoughts? Anyone wants to share, or you want to share how you would answer this question, your strategy or your angle of answering this question? Anyone wants to share? If you want to share, you feel free to. You can type in the Zoom chat, or you can unmute yourself and you can share as well. If you all have any good experience, maybe you have taken the exam before, or maybe you have tried to answer some of the past year questions before. How would you answer this great physician question? Anybody? Okay, let me share some thoughts, all right? Let me share some thoughts. Okay, so for great physician, you can look at some of the suttas that talk about medical imagery, medical metaphors, or medical analogies, or medical similes, okay? So there are a few suttas, you can look at a few suttas, that talk about medical similes, right? For example, let's imagine, okay? Imagine a person is shot with an arrow. Wow, this one very painful. Any one of you got injured before? Maybe it's possible. Maybe you have fallen down before and you got what's the word? You got pricked by a thorn. Something sharp stabs you. Maybe your hand or leg, you know. So you fall over and then you get pricked by a thorn or something sharp or a sharp object. Okay, that's something like that is possible. All right. So of course, in the past, arrows and archery, they are an important part of war and battle, right? So when you go to war, the soldiers, they have to have the archers and they have to shoot the bow and shoot the bow and arrow. No, they have to handle the bow and arrow and then shoot the arrow to attack the enemy or the opponent. Okay, so something like that, right? So it is possible that someone has been shot by an arrow. I mean, in modern days, you probably don't use arrows these days. You probably use guns and so on, guns and bombs, I suppose. Anyway, all right. So imagine you are shot with an arrow and you're injured now. What would you do? You need to go to a doctor or a surgeon or a physician to operate on you, perform surgery on your body in order to remove the arrow or the dart. In the suttas, it's translated as a dart or an arrow. Okay, 箭 in Mandarin, 箭, you know, 箭,射箭的箭, right? A dart or an arrow from your body, right? From your hand or your leg, right? Anything, right? So this is an operation or surgery. This is a very common imagery in the suttas. So the Buddha is described that way, right? So, but what about all beings? All beings are struck with an arrow. The arrow of what? All beings are struck with an arrow. An arrow of what? You all know the answer? The answer is the arrow of Tanha. Tanha, the dart of Tanha. What is Tanha? The common translation is craving. I think it's an okay translation. It's a good translation. I prefer another translation, something like grasping or grasping thirst. Grasping thirst. In Mandarin, it's Tan Ai, Tan Ai, or Tan Ke. Do we say Tan Ke? Tan Ke. 渴望的渴 Yes. The grasping thirst, 贪渴 or 贪 eye, right? The grasping. Okay, so this is right. Then you have pulled out the arrow. This arrow. So imagine you are. Uh-oh, I'm running out of battery. My internet is running out of battery. Apologies. Hang on. My phone is running out of battery. My internet is running out of battery. Hang on, just give me a moment. Okay, let's hope it lasts. I think I'm going to run out. My internet connection is going to be cut off very soon. Yeah. Okay, let's hope it doesn't die off too soon. Okay, let's hope I get help soon. Okay. Yes, all beings are struck with this arrow, with this dart. Yeah. Imagine you are struck or you are pierced by an arrow to your heart. It's like a very painful feeling, right? This is like the feeling of heartbreak or heartbroken, right? Heartbroken. Imagine you're heartbroken. You want something so badly. You grasp after something. You are addicted to something. You're obsessed with something, and then you cannot get it. You are so frustrated. You are so disappointed. Oh, that kind of heartbrokenness, that heartbreak, it's like pierced with the arrow of tanha, right? Correct? Maybe you have that experience before, maybe, or maybe not, all right? But many people have had that experience because of this tanha. And so the Buddha is the physician, the surgeon who operates on you to remove this arrow of tanha, to heal your heart, to heal your heart, to heal your heart, to heal your broken heart, okay? To remove this arrow of grasping, okay? Right, very nice, very, very beautiful imagery. But it's going to be painful, you know. I like this imagery because, you know, surgery is not fun, right? Surgery is not pleasant. It's painful, right? When the Buddha operates on you, it's painful, correct? When the Dhamma applies into your life, and when you bring the Dhamma into your life to transform your mind and body, sometimes it's not fun, right? Sometimes it's not pleasant. Sometimes it's quite painful, right? You need to have the determination, have the resolve, have the endurance to endure the challenges of the Dhamma practice, endure the challenges of the spiritual life. Sometimes it's not easy. And that's why we develop resilience, we develop inner strength, we develop endurance and patience. Khanti, endurance and patience, okay? Okay, so these are good examples. So there are different examples and imageries on how the Buddha is a great physician. That's one of the suttas, right? Removing the dart of craving, removing the dart of grasping thirst. That's one example. Okay, that's one example you could use in your essay if you want to answer this question. Another example for the Buddha being a great physician. Anyone knows? Anyone wants to try to answer this? Anyone wants to share? Okay, another example of the Buddha being a great physician is another example of the Buddha being a great physician is the uh, the Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths. The structure of the Four Noble Truths is actually a medical structure. Did you all realize that? Do you all realize that? The structure of the Four Noble Truths is actually a medical structure. Yeah. The first, the first noble truth is the disease, is the diagnosis. You all know what's diagnosis? Ah. The Buddha diagnoses what is your problem, what is your disease, what is your illness. What is your disease? The disease of dukkha. The Buddha identifies what is wrong with you, your suffering, your mental suffering, your physical suffering, birth, sickness, old age, death, the round of rebirth again and again. These are the sufferings of life. Wanting something and not getting it. Not wanting something and getting it. Right? Separation from the beloved. Uniting with the unpleasant or the undesired. Okay, so this is the diagnosis of dukkha, the different types of dukkha of life. This is the illness, the diagnosis. Okay, and then the second noble truth. What is the second noble truth? You all know the answer? The second noble truth is the etiology. Is the etiology. You all know this word? Any doctors? Any doctors here? You would know the word etiology. What is etiology? You all know the answer? Okay, you can Google it now. I'll go and Google it now. Then you can know what is etiology. I'm also Googling it right now to make sure I get the definition right. Etiology is the cause or the set of causes or the manner of causation of a disease or condition. The investigation or attribution of the cause or reason for something, often expressed in terms of historical or mythical explanation. So in Wikipedia, they say that etiology is the study of causation or origination. See? That's why I say the Four Noble Truths is very medical in the structure, right? The Buddha is really a great surgeon, a great physician, okay? Etiology in medicine is the study of causation or origination. How did this disease arise? What is the cause of this reason? What is the condition? Sorry, what is the cause of this disease? What is the condition for this disease, for this illness, for this sickness? Okay, yeah. So this is also what the doctor would do, right? Correct? They would see, okay, they would investigate, they would scan your body, right? Maybe they do a scan or an MRI scanning, okay, or they would do a brain scan. They'll do different things, okay. They'll do different investigation, different tests on your body, okay, and then they will look at it and then they would try to diagnose, okay, what is your blood pressure level or what is your body temperature level, correct? Blood pressure, body temperature level, what is your cholesterol level, okay? And then they also look at all your signs in your body, right? Your red blood cells, your white blood cells, okay? All of that, whether there are any foreign bacteria or foreign viruses in your body, okay? All of that they will see. This is like the Buddha studying dukkha, right? What are the bacteria in your life? What are the viruses in your life? Okay, what is your body temperature level? What is your heart temperature level? What is your heart level? What is your hatred level, your anger level, okay? What is your delusion level, okay? Your foolishness level? What is your wisdom level, your compassion level, right? Example. So the Buddha will study the qualities of your heart to give you a diagnosis, correct? What are the problems in your life? What is the dukkha of your life? Okay? And then the Buddha would look at the etiology. This is a second noble truth. What is the cause of dukkha? What is the origination of dukkha? What is the arising of dukkha? Okay? All right. So now I ask all of you. I ask all of you here, what is the arising of dukkha? What is the cause of suffering? You all know the answer? So the direct cause of suffering is the tanha, which fills and generates rebirth. This is the direct cause. The underlying cause, what is the underlying cause, everyone? The underlying cause is avidya or moha. This is blindness or foolishness or delusion or confusion or ignorance. Okay, I repeat. What is the cause of dukkha, my dear friends? The direct cause is the tanha, the tan ai or the tan ke or the ke ai, 渴望的渴啊，可爱啊，可爱 is that the right word? 可爱 yeah, correct, yes. 渴望的可爱。贪爱. There are two types of love in Mandarin. I. Because when we say I, we could mean something good or something not so good. Because in Mandarin, when we say I, when we say love, loving kindness or metta, it's 慈爱. I don't know whether you guys know Mandarin or not, but anyway, I'll just give a short explanation. Love or metta, okay, kindness is 慈爱. This is a good love, a good kind of love. But there's a kind of love that is not really love, that is not true love. It's a kind of love that is a kind of grasping. It's not love, but people think it is love. You know what I mean? Some people call it love, but it is actually not love. It is actually not true love. It is grasping. This is called tan ai. Tan ai, correct, tan ai. Okay? Or tan ke. I prefer the translation tan ke, but anyway. No worries. Okay, so these are different words to try to capture the meaning of tanha. But anyway, the language of the Pali is tanha, and this tanha is the grasping thirst that desires satisfaction in something that cannot deliver. Let me repeat. Tanha is that which thirsts after thirsts after satisfaction in desires that cannot deliver or cannot satisfy. Many desires cannot satisfy us ultimately. Many desires cannot deliver this satisfaction. Yet, because we don't know the true happiness, we don't know the true joy and the true bliss, so we thirst after it, we try to grasp after it, thinking we can get the satisfaction, thinking we can get the fulfillment. But ultimately, we cannot, because these desires cannot give us the ultimate satisfaction. Why do we still grasp after it? Why do we still thirst after it? 渴望啊，渴啊，口渴. Why do we still thirst after it with the tanha? Why? The answer is the underlying cause. Because we do not realize that they cannot deliver the satisfaction. We do not realize, we do not understand that they cannot give us the ultimate satisfaction. Yeah. So that not realizing, the quality of not realizing and not understanding, that is the underlying cause of suffering. This is called avidya or moha. All right. This is the blindness, the foolishness, the delusion, the confusion, the ignorance. We do not understand the nature of reality. This is the cause of suffering. Right. So when a physician diagnoses your disease, he looks at your symptoms and then he will look at the causes. What caused it? What caused it? Okay, maybe it's your diet that caused it. Maybe it's something you were exposed to. Okay, radiation that you have been exposed to. Maybe you eat the wrong food or food that has turned bad. Example, right? Food poisoning. Okay, or chemical poisoning. You know, these are different causes that cause your that cause your disease, right? As a doctor, you would do that, right? You would analyze the causes of your patient's disease, correct or not? Yeah. So as the great physician, as the great doctor, what does the Buddha do? How does the Buddha analyze the cause of our suffering? The answer is heart poisoning. This one is heart poisoning. Sometimes when we get sick, when we fall sick, it's because of food poisoning, correct or not? We eat the wrong food. The poison comes from outside. I repeat, in physical health, okay, when you have food poisoning, the poison comes from outside. Understand? You eat something, maybe there's bacterial contamination, okay, then you eat something wrong, okay, or maybe someone else passes the disease to you, right? Maybe the virus is transmitted from another person, right? Like you know, COVID-19, for example, right? The virus is transmitted from other person, okay, through the air or through other medium, okay, to you, and then you also get the virus infection. Okay, that's also possible. But the point is, these are all from outside. The poisoning or the infection comes from outside. Maybe the virus comes from another person. Okay, the infection. Okay, if you eat food that has bacteria, also the poison comes from outside. Okay, but when it comes to the spiritual life, my dear friends, the poison comes from inside. It's not food poisoning, it's heart poisoning, or you could say heart infection, not virus infection, but heart infection. Understand? So the poison and the infection comes from inside. That is the cause of our dukkha. What is the poison of the heart? What's the poison of the heart, everyone? You all know the answer? The answer is lobha, dosa, moha. These are called the three roots of evil. The three roots of evil. Lobha, dosa, moha. Or you could say these are the three poisons. In Mandarin, what are they called? You all know the Mandarin word? Anyone here learns Mandarin? The Mandarin word is called san tu. San tu. The three poisons. San tu. Understand? Yeah. So these are the three poisons of the heart. Okay, so food poisoning, we get sick. In spiritual life, heart poisoning, we get sick. Okay, in food poisoning, the poison comes from outside. In heart poisoning, the poison comes from inside. Understand? Okay. All right. Good. So these are the three poisons of the heart. So these are the cause of suffering. Okay. Good. Now, after diagnosis, after etiology, what's the third step in a medical analysis? You all know the answer? Anyone here studies medicine? No? Okay, the third step is prognosis. Prognosis. Okay, let me Google the word prognosis for the precise definition. Okay, you can Google the word as well if you want to know prognosis. Okay. All right. Okay, give me one moment, brothers and sisters. Let's take a short break. Let's take a break of 3 minutes. Okay, let's take a short break. I need to charge my phone right now. Okay, let's take a short break. 3 minutes. We'll come back in 3 minutes. All right. You can drink some water. You can go to the washroom if you need. Okay. All right. 3 minutes break. We'll come back very soon. All right. Thank you. All right, let's come back soon. Let's come back in about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, all right? All right, let's resume. Okay, so we were talking about how the Buddha is a great physician. Okay, yes. So 3 steps in, and we have reached the third step. The third step in a medical analysis is prognosis. Let me read the definition from Google. Give me a moment. Google says, let me see what Google says. Okay. A prognosis is the likely cause of a medical condition. It is a forecast of the likely outcome of a situation. So a prognosis is, let me read the definition from Cambridge Dictionary. A doctor's judgment of the likely or expected development of a disease or of the chances of getting better. So the point here is the prognosis is looking at the outcome of a disease, whether or not the sickness and the disease will get better, whether or not the symptoms will improve. That is prognosis, is to predict the outcome, whether the symptoms will get better or get worse, whether the disease will become better or become worse. That is prognosis, is to look at the outcome of a disease. That is prognosis. It's something like a forecast or a prediction. That is what prognosis is in the medical context. Okay. Now let's bring it back to the Dhamma context. In the Dhamma Vinaya, what is the prognosis? Well, the Buddha has a prognosis, right? The Buddha's prognosis is with the support of good karma, with the support of sati sampajanya, with the support of mindfulness and clear comprehension, with the support of samatha vipassana, with the support of serenity and insight, okay, serenity and discernment, we are able to increase the likelihood of our disease becoming better, our symptoms becoming better. Correct or not? Right? If we have good karma, if we have sati sampajanya, if we have dana, sila, bhavana, then these will make our disease better and better, so that our disease becomes weaker. It will make our spiritual health better and better. In the next life, we can live a better spiritual life. Right? And then our disease will become weaker and weaker. Of course, the Buddha would also say, if you live your life with a lot of evil qualities, if you live your life with a lot of blindness and foolishness, without any sati, without any apamada, without any diligence, with a lot of pamada. What is pamada? Pamada is negligence, negligence and heedlessness. Okay, that is pamada. Intoxication, that is pamada. If you live your life with a lot of intoxication without any mindfulness, if you live your life with a lot of anger, a lot of hostility, a lot of oppression, so all those factors would make your disease worse and worse. Correct or not? It will make your spiritual health become worse and worse. So that is the prognosis of the Buddha. Now, in the context of the third noble truth, what is the third noble truth, brothers and sisters? Do you all know? The third noble truth is what? The third noble truth is the removal of the cause of suffering. Third noble truth. The third noble truth is the removal of the cause of suffering. Brothers and sisters, when you remove the cause, what happens? When you remove the cause, the effect vanishes. When you take away the cause, you also take away the effect. When you take away the cause of suffering, then the effect, which is suffering, is also taken away. Abandon the cause of suffering, then suffering no longer arises. I repeat, you abandon the cause of suffering, then suffering no longer arises. And this is called Nibbana or Nirodha. Nirodha is cessation. The cessation of suffering. This is the end of suffering. End of suffering. It's called Dukkha Nirodha. Dukkha Nirodha, which means the cessation of suffering. Got it? Yeah. Why does suffering cease? Why? The answer is because you have abandoned the cause of suffering. So this is the prognosis of the Buddha. He analyzes, if you take away craving, the cause of suffering, if you take away tanha, if you take away moha, okay, you take away delusion and blindness, then you take away the cause of suffering. When you take away the cause of suffering, then your disease is no more. Your disease is healed, is completely healed, and you have reached the end of suffering. And this is called Nibbana, the end of suffering, Nibbana. Right? So this is the ultimate prognosis of the Buddha. This is the ultimate outcome of your disease. If you take the medicine, I repeat, this is the ultimate outcome of your disease if you take the medicine. If you take the medicine, the ultimate outcome of your disease is complete healing. Completely remove the disease. No more suffering, no more disease. Complete healing. This is the final outcome. This is the prognosis of the Buddha. Understand? Okay, diagnosis, etiology, prognosis. What's the last one? The fourth thing after the Buddha, after the doctor gives a prognosis, what happens? What does the doctor do? What does the doctor do when you see the doctor? What do they do? They give you the prescription. They give you the prescription. Prescription or the treatment. Is that right? Yeah. After they say, okay, you have a disease, you have food poisoning. Okay, you have a disease. Let's say you have a weakness of body. That is your diagnosis, and then your symptom. Okay, and then etiology is maybe food poisoning. Example. All right. Prognosis is how to become better. How to become better. Okay, you might have to take how to become better. Your food poisoning will be removed. They might remove the poison from your body, and then you will feel better already. That's a prognosis. And then what is a prescription? Okay, you might have to, depends on the severity of the food poisoning. You might have to go through surgery to remove the poison from your body. That's one possibility. Or you might have to take certain medicine to also take away to fight away the bacteria or the virus in your body. That's also possible, right? So the fourth step in the medical analysis is the medicine, the prescription of the course of treatment. What medicine do you need to take, or what surgery do you need to undergo in order to remove the cause of suffering? Understand? So what is the way to remove the cause of suffering? What is the way to remove our tanha, our grasping thirst, and our moha, our delusion? What is the way? The answer is the Noble Eightfold Path. This is the Buddha's surgery on us. This is the Buddha's surgery on our body to remove the arrow of grasping thirst, okay? The arrow of tanha, all right? So this is the Buddha's medicine. We have to take the medicine, okay? If we go to the doctor and then the doctor tells us everything and the doctor says, okay, I need to operate on you. I need to do surgery on your body. Then you say, no, don't want. I'm very scared. I'm very scared. Then, oh, no healing, okay, for you. If the Buddha says, please go home and take this medicine, eat the medicine, consume the pills, okay? Take the medicine so that you will become better. All right, for example, take the antibiotics, okay, to become better, for example, okay. And then you go home, you put the medicine on your you put the medicine on your table, okay, and then you forget about it. Yeah, I don't want to take medicine. Yeah, very troublesome. I want to do other things in life. I don't want to take the medicine. Then also don't have any no effect. All right, no effect. Correct or not? If the doctor says, okay, you need to do certain exercises, okay, go to the gym, okay, go and do some stretching. You need to strengthen your muscles or strengthen your joints, okay, and then loosen the tension in your body. You need to do certain stretching exercises, example, right? Example. And then you say, yeah, I don't want to go to the gym, lah. I have no time, lah. Okay, have you heard of this? People say, I have no time for Dhamma. I have no time to listen to the. Anyone of you heard this? Okay, I have no time to do stretching. I have no time to do exercise for my body. Okay, then also no effect, right? So your disease would not get better. So this is the prescription or the treatment. Okay, so this is also another example of how the Buddha is a good physician or a good doctor. All right, so this is the analogy. So I've given a few examples. The Four Noble Truths, I've also given the sutta. So these are some ways you can include the examples from the suttas in your essay as you answer the question. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we don't know what will be the question this year, so we'll see. If this question comes up, then you have the answer already. Okay. All right. Good. Let's continue with some of the questions. So let's look at some past year questions. If any of you want me to talk more about a specific question, you can also suggest. You can also raise the suggestion. Yeah. Then I can look at the question and then we can discuss more. If you have a particular topic that you want to explore more deeply, all right, it's actually up to all of you really. This is a discussion for all of us. We can discuss together. Okay. All right. In what way was he a physician or a doctor? Illustrate your answer with examples from the suttas. Okay. Yeah. Another example is in Mandarin we say 对症下药. Okay, 对症下药. In English we say skillful means. Skillful means. The Buddha is able to know what kind of medicine is suitable for what kind of disease, right? When you go to the doctor will say, okay, this particular medicine you must take because it's this particular virus or this particular virus. If this virus, you must take this medicine. If another virus, you must take another medicine, for example. Correct or not? Yeah, so similarly, the Buddha is also able to know what kind of disease the disciple is facing. Right? For example, some people struggle with anger. Then the Buddha prescribes the contemplation on loving kindness, for example. Okay. Some people struggle with, let's think of an example. Some people struggle with lust, sexual desire. Then the Buddha prescribes the contemplation on the impurity of the body, for example. Right? So the Buddha has a way to identify the specific inclinations and the specific temperaments and dispositions of the person. And so the Buddha is able to give the specific medicine to treat that person's specific condition. That is also the Buddha's skill as a great physician. Okay? All right? Good. Okay, now let's look at the third question. Explain clearly what the Buddha had achieved in his 45 years of missionary work, how his effort had paved the way for the spread, for the propagation of the Dhamma after his Mahaparinibbana to this present day. Wow, this is a good question. This one you need to apply many examples, okay? What had the Buddha achieved and how did his leadership, how did his missionary effort, how did all of that pave the way for subsequent generations of Dhamma leaders to continue his work of propagating the Dhamma? Well, this one is a good question. You need to bring together different examples and apply those examples to answer this question. All right. I think this is a good question, a challenging question. Okay. All right. Let's look at some more examples. Higher level, section B. This is the section on the Dhamma. What are the 6 virtues of the Dhamma? Okay, this one again you have to memorize. Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo. Okay. Which virtue of the Dhamma is most important and why is it so important? All right. What are the Four Noble Truths? Okay, just now I have actually explained the Four Noble Truths, all right? Explain in detail the Four Noble Truths. The Fourth Noble Truth, how does the Fourth Noble Truth benefit our lives? So you need to talk about the benefits and the advantages and the benefits and the good consequences, the positive consequences of practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay. All right. Next question is: do no evil, cultivate merit, purify one's mind. Okay. This one is to avoid all evil. I think it's sabba papa akarana, something like that. Okay. The language of the Pali. And then cultivate meritoriousness is kusala, kusala upasampada, something like that. Is that the right word? Okay, I need to think of what's the right word. And then purify one's mind. Sachita pariyodana, right? To purify the mind, to purify the heart. Okay, so this is the Dhammapada verse. This is Dhammapada 183, I think. Dhammapada 183. Am I right? Okay, and then this is the teaching of the Buddha. Etang Buddhana Sasana. So explain this Dhammapada verse from the perspective of Kamma. Okay. All right, let me check. Let me just Google it right now to just confirm whether it's Dhammapada 183. I believe it is Dhammapada 183. Is it right? Ah, yes, it is right. That is correct. Dhammapada 183. Let me read the Pali right now just to confirm. The language of the Pali is Sabba Papasa Akaranam. Yes, I was right. Sabba Papasa Akaranam Kusalasa Upasampada Sachita Pariyodapanam Etang Buddhana Sasanam. Yes, that is the Dhammapada verse 183. Okay, good. All right, yeah, that's the. So how do we understand this verse from the perspective of Kamma? So you have to apply the doctrine of Kamma to explain this verse. All right. How does karma relate to evil? How does karma relate to meritoriousness, to righteousness, to punya? How does karma relate to the purification of the mind and the heart? Okay, you have to explain this. All right. Okay, let's look at a few more examples. 6 virtues, 3 characteristics, anicca, dukkha, anatta, 4 noble truths. Okay, see the questions are quite common. Okay, quite popular. Okay, let's look at Sangha. 9 virtues of the Sangha. Venerable Mahakappa's relationship with Buddha, the first Buddhist council. All right, the special qualities of Venerable Ananda. What is his contribution to the dispensation? You all know the answer? What is his most important contribution to the dispensation? The answer is his sutta knowledge, his memory of the suttas. All the suttas that we have today is because Venerable Ananda remembers these suttas. Of course, he's not the only one. He remembers all the suttas, and also the group of monks and nuns also remembers the suttas, so that the first generation of Dhamma bearers, the first generation of Dhamma practitioners and preservers and protectors, they protect and preserve the Dhamma, and then they transmit the Dhamma to the next generation of Dhamma leaders until we have it today in our possession today. We have the very words of the Buddha. Why? Because Venerable Ananda makes the effort to memorize the suttas. All right. Today, when Wei Ken is sharing Dhamma, any one of you memorize Wei Ken's words? No need to memorize. You know why? Because we have Zoom recording. We make the Zoom recording and then we memorize all the words. But back then they did not have technology, right? They did not have recording technology. So who is the Zoom recording? Venerable Ananda. He is the Zoom recording. He records all the words of the Buddha so that today we have the words of the Buddha. Okay, good. So that is his most important contribution to the dispensation. Let's look at more examples. Section C, what are the 9 virtues of the Sangha? All right. Pick one virtue that will help you enhance your faith in the Sangha. Good question. All right. Special qualities and virtues of Venerable Ananda. Okay. And Venerable Ananda's role in the formation of the Bhikkhuni order. All right. Virtues and qualities of Visakha, which qualify her as the chief female lay disciple of the Buddha. Okay. What significant role did she play in the dispensation of the Buddha? All right, I've talked about that a little bit already. Good. Qualities and virtues of Venerable Sariputta, foremost in wisdom, give evidence from the events of Venerable Sariputta's life. All right. Describe clearly the virtues and qualities of Anatta Pindika, which qualify him as the chief male patron of the Sangha led by the Buddha. Okay, good. Okay, see, these questions are quite repeated. 5 precepts, filial piety and gratitude. The 2 meditation taught by the Buddha, okay, 2 types of meditation, samatha and vipassana, all right? So you have to talk about that as well. Section D on general Buddhist practice. 5 precepts, gratitude, mental cultivation, 2 methods of Buddhist meditation. See, again, the same questions, samatha and vipassana. 4 foundations of mindfulness. This is the Satipatthana. Satipatthana. Okay, the 4 foundations of mindfulness. 5 hindrances. Well, this one's a bit more challenging. The Pancha Nivarana. This one you need to know the sutta and also what is the barrier or obstacle of the 5 hindrances when they are present in our minds. Okay, so these are different examples. All right, good. Okay, this is last year's poster. I need to update my slides. All right. Okay, are there any questions you want me to discuss more? Anyone wants to, or you want to share your answer to any of the questions? Anyone wants to, or if not, I will continue with some of the popular questions that are often asked. Anybody wants to suggest any topic for me to look at? If not, I'll continue. Okay. No one. Okay. Then I'll share. I'll continue to share. All right. Okay. One very helpful resource for you to give examples from the life of the disciples of the Buddha. There is a very good book for you to read. In fact, if you read this book, you can get all the stories from this book. All the stories of the life of Ananda, all the stories of the life of Sariputta, you can get from this book. So I'm going to share this book with all of you. And then yeah, yes. So this book is called The Great Disciples of the Buddha. Let me get it in PDF. Do I have it? I am loading it now. Let me check. Hey, I'm not able to load it. Hang on, let me give you a moment. Hey. Oh, I'm not able to get it online. Hang on, let me Google it again. Okay, I'm not able to display it just quite yet. Maybe I would have to find another resource. How can I get it? Okay, maybe the website is down. Is the website down? I hope not. Give me one moment, friends. Yeah, I think the website is not available at the moment. Ouch. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Let's look at other examples. Oh, okay. This website is here. Okay. Good. Yeah, I found a website. Okay. Yes. Let me share it now. Okay, I found a website. Good. So, yes. Very nice. Let me share my screen now. This is the book Great Disciples of the Buddha, Their Lives, Their Works, Their Legacy. This is authored by Nyana Ponika Thera and Helmuth Hacker. Introduction by Bhikkhu Bodhi, Great Disciples of the Buddha. Great Disciples of the Buddha. So you can Google this. The PDF is online. All right. Maybe many of you have already seen this book, so let me just take you through it. You can look at the specific disciples that you want to write about for your essay, right? Maybe you want to write about Ananda, you want to write about Sariputta. Okay, this is a really good book. So example, let me show you the table of contents. So they have different disciples of the Buddha. For example, Venerable Sariputta, and then Venerable Mahamoggallana, Venerable Mahakassapa, Venerable Ananda. And under each person, there are many good stories. See, all these are the stories. In the Jatakas, how he helped people, how he's not resentful, okay, friendships. Okay, these are all the stories of Venerable Sariputta. Venerable Ananda is also a popular question, right? Then you can see his personal path, his Buddhist, his role as a Buddhist attendant, his attitude towards women, okay? Conversations with the Buddha, Jataka stories, all right, last days of the Buddha. So this is also a very good section. You can get a lot of examples and stories from this book. Okay, Venerable Ananda. And then just now, a lot of good stories, a lot of famous stories is Anatta Pinika and also Visakha. Remember? Anatta Pinika, this is a story. How did Anatta Pinika become a disciple of the Buddha? Do you know the story? Very interesting story, fascinating story. So you can also read in this book. He's a wealthy patron, he's a wealthy supporter of the Buddha Sangha, and he's also a wealthy supporter of many people. The poor, the underprivileged, the marginalized, okay, the hungry, okay. And then Visakha is also a popular question. Do we have Visakha here? Yes, we have Visakha. Visakha, the Buddha's chief patroness, the Buddha's foremost woman lay supporter. Yes, female lay supporter. Okay, Visakha is also here. We have stories of that here as well. Queen Malika, all right. Queen Kema. Queen Kema, at first she's Queen Kema, and then she became Venerable Bhikkhuni Kema, the chief Bhikkhuni disciple of the Buddha. Okay, foremost in wisdom. All right. So these are some examples of some disciples of the Buddha that you can study the popular ones, right? You can look at Venerable Sariputta, you can look at Venerable Mahakassapa, Venerable Ananda, and then Visakha, very popular, and then Anatta Pindika, also very popular. So these are some of the stories you can read. If you read these stories, you can already write your essay, okay? And you want me to go through any of the examples? Let's look at Visakha, since Visakha has been asked a few times. Let's see. Okay, Visakha. This is Visakha. All right, you can read. You can read this. Okay, yeah. One day, let's read the story. Yeah. One day, when Visakha was 7 years of age, the Buddha arrived in the city of Baddiya, accompanied by a great retinue of monks. When Mandaka heard that the awakened one had come, he sent for his beloved granddaughter and said to her, "Dear girl, this is a happy day for us, for the teacher has arrived in our own city. Summon all your maidservants and go out to meet him." Okay, so Visakha went to the Buddha. The Buddha taught the Dhamma to her and her entourage, and at the end of the discourse, Visakha and all her 500 maidservants were established in the fruit of stream entry. This is Sotapanna Phala. Sotapati Phala, the fruit of stream entry. Mandaka too listened to the Dhamma along with his wife, his son and daughter-in-law, and his slave, and all attained to stream entry. Okay, good? Yeah. So this is an example. This was the moment that she became a stream entrant. She was only 7 years old. Okay, and then she was married to uh, Punnavardhana. Punnavardhana, I think so. Yes, is that right? Yes, correct. She was married to Punnavardhana. Okay, and then and then the Buddha also gave no, sorry, not the Buddha actually. Her father, Visakha's father gave her very good advice to Visakha to be a good wife and a good mother. Okay, to be a good wife and a good mother. So, for example, let's see. Let you all see. What is the good advice for a wife and mother? Right? Any of you, your son or daughter getting married? Anyone? Then you can also give them this advice. Okay. Should not speak ill of her husband and parents-in-law. So what is in the house? You don't. This one in Mandarin we say 家丑不可外扬, something like that, right? The shortcomings or household quarrels in the house, you should not bring it outside. Very good advice. Okay, a wife should not listen to the reports and stories of other households. Other people gossip, then you go and listen, you go and bring it into the family. No need, no need. Okay, you should lend things to those who return them. If those people who do not return your things, do not lend it to them. Okay, poor relatives and friends should be helped even if they do not repay. Wow, this one very noble advice. Poor relatives and friends should be helped even if they do not repay. A wife should sit in a becoming way, in a modest way, in a proper way, in a dignified way. On seeing her parents-in-law or her husband, she should rise, she should stand. Before partaking of her meals, a wife should see first that her parents-in-law and husband are served, and should also see that her servants are well cared for. All right. So as a family, we should care for our parents, and we should care for those who are working for us, our servants as well. All right. Before going to bed at night, you should protect your house, close the doors, the furniture is safe, the servants have performed their duties, and the parents-in-law have retired. A wife should rise early in the morning. Okay. Parents-in-law and husband should be regarded as fire. Oh, this one, very dangerous. Regarded as fire. The fire here means we need to be careful as we deal with them. One should deal carefully with them as one would with fire, right? Okay. You need to manage the relationships between your in-laws and your husband, right? Your husband, the wife, the parents-in-law, okay, all these relationships, you need to learn to manage skillfully, manage wisely, navigate skillfully, right? Okay, and then parents-in-law and husband should be regarded as divinities, as devas. You should respect your parents-in-law as devas, as divinities, okay? So these are the 10 pieces of advice that the father gave to Visakha before she got married. Okay, so this is another example. Okay, we can look at other examples actually. You all want to look at? Yeah. Okay. After. Okay. Oh, wait, let me see. After Visakha brought her father-in-law, the father of her husband is Migara. Migara. So Visakha brought Migara to the Buddha. And the Buddha's words moved Migara so deeply that he penetrated the ultimate truth about the nature of existence and attained to stream entry. So Migara became a stream enterer after he listened to the Buddha's words. Now he was very grateful to Visakha because Visakha is the one who brought him to the Buddha. Yeah. So filled with overwhelming gratitude, he told Visakha that from now onwards he would respect her like his own mother. And accordingly, he called her Migara Mata. Migara Mata means mother of Migara. So imagine, this is Migara. His son is the husband of Visakha. But to him, Visakha is like her mother because she is her spiritual mother. She is the one who gives she is the one who gives him spiritual life, life in the Dhamma. All right, that's why he respects her a lot because of his gratitude for her. Because she's the one who brings him to the Dhamma, all right, to the Buddha. Okay, Migara Mata, the mother of Migara. Okay, so the whole family become staunch supporters of the Buddha and his community of monks and nuns. All right. Visakha is very wise and very rich, so she has a lot of good blessings. So also she has a lot of children, sons and daughters, all right? And all of them also had a lot of sons and daughters, all of them. So very big family. Okay, so very good blessings, very good blessings in life, all right? Visakha lived to a long life. Wow, this one very good blessing. Visakha lived to a long life. She lives up to the age of 120, but all her life she looks like a 16-year-old girl. Wow, this is a very good blessing. Even though she lives to a very old age, her appearance and her beauty is a result of her blessings. Right? She had a lot of good blessings in her life because of all her good punya, all her good meritorious practice of the Dhamma, good meritorious righteousness and meritorious cultivation. Okay. All right, this was the result of her merit and her enjoyment of the Dhamma, which filled her completely throughout the day. This one is called Fa Xi or Fa Yue in Mandarin. You all know what's the Pali? Fa Xi, Fa Xi or Fa Yue. I'm writing it. Hang on. 法乐. Okay, the Pali is Dhamma Rati or Dhamma Piti. Dhamma Piti or Dhamma Rati. The joy of Dhamma, the bliss of Dhamma, the delight in Dhamma, Dhamma Rati or Dhamma Piti. All right, Farsi or Fire in Mandarin. The joy of Dhamma, the joy, the bliss of Dhamma. All right, wait, let me just check the spelling of the Pali. Am I getting it right? Give me one moment. Dhammarati. Am I spelling it right? Just give me one moment to check that I'm spelling it right. Yes, Dhammarati. That's the right word. Dhammarati. Delight in the Dhamma, love for the Dhamma. Yes, correct. Dhammarati. And then Dhamma Piti. Yes, Dhamma Piti. Correct. Yes. Dhamma Piti. Yes, I'm spelling it correctly. Very good. Dhamma Rati or Dhamma Piti. All right. Dhamma Rati is delight in the Dhamma, love for the Dhamma. Dhamma Piti is the joy of the Dhamma, the bliss of the Dhamma. Okay. So this, because of her enjoyment of the Dhamma, which fills her completely throughout the day, she enjoys Dhamma so much that she looks so beautiful, that she looks so youthful, that she looks so vibrant with the youthful energy, the young appearance of a young girl. Okay, this is of a young woman. Okay, this is the power of her joy of the Dhamma. So all of you, you want to look pretty, you want to look beautiful, you want to have good looks, you must enjoy the Dhamma. Let the joy of the Dhamma fill you completely throughout the day. Now, I want to share a personal experience, my own personal story. It's true. Last year, I was doing a short-term ordination. I was ordained as a Samanera, as a novice monk, and then I did my short-term ordination. And then together with me, I mean, it was a program, and so there were also other Samaneras and Sayalays, right? So other young men and young women also ordained together, in this program. So yeah, we have a number of Samaneras and a number of Sayalays. Yeah. So there was one of the Sayalays there. She was also a young woman, a university student, okay, and then she ordained as a Sayalay. When she listens to the suttas, when she listens to the Dhamma, and when she meditates, you can see the joy on her face, the smile on her face, and the radiant joy on her face. So when I saw her, I already know this is someone who really finds joy in the Dhamma, really finds joy in the suttas, finds joy in meditation. This is someone who really embodies that quality. So if you see her, you know what I mean. This is my own personal encounter, my own personal experience. When I saw her, I really know this is someone who really embodies the quality of Dhamma Piti, Fa Si, Fa Yue. She really, when you see her smiling during meditation, you really know, this is someone who really finds the joy in the Dhamma, experiences the joy in the Dhamma. All right, so this is one example from my own personal experience. Maybe you also know people like that. Have you seen anyone who has such love for the Dhamma, such passion for the Dhamma? You see them so happy when they are filled with the joy in the Dhamma. Okay, you might know some people like that. All right, so this is the example. So Visakha was also a person like that. She was always very good looking and very beautiful because of the radiant joy that she had in the Dhamma. Okay, yeah? All right, good. So this is another example. So this one, all this you can write in your essay if you're writing about Visakha. Okay. How you can describe Visakha's life. Okay, we can go on. Let's look at more examples. This one very important. This one you must write in your essay if you're writing about Visakha. She found time to feed the monks every day, to visit the monasteries, and to ensure that none of the monks and nuns lacked food, clothing, shelter, bedding, and medicines. Okay, this one important. This one very important for the essay. This one you must write. She found time to feed the monks and nuns every day, to visit the monasteries, ensure that they have food, clothing, shelter, bedding, and medicines. Above all, she still finds time to listen to the teaching of the Blessed One again and again. So the Buddha proclaims, the Bhagava, the Blessed Lord, proclaims, Visakha stands foremost among my women lay supporters who serve as supporters of the Sangha. All right, good. Okay, so this is her quality, her virtue of supporting the Sangha. Okay, you can read for more examples if you want to. You can. Okay. Okay, let's look at another disciple. Do you want to look? Any one of you want to read about another disciple? Anyone, you want to give a suggestion on the name? I can read it to you. We can look at some of their lives. Okay. Anybody? Which disciple you want to learn more about? Anyone? No suggestions? Okay. Okay, never mind. I'll stop here first. Okay. Anyway, this book is very good. You can Google for this book, Great Disciples of the Buddha, their lives, their works, their legacy, and then you can read it. For the examination, they won't ask about everyone. The popular ones are Sariputta, Ananda, Mahakassapa, Anathapindika, Pisaka, right? Those are the popular ones, right? So you can read those examples. Of course, that is for the examination. The examination, they have certain popular questions, right? But even even if you are not taking the examination, or even if you are taking the examination, it is still very good to read about all those disciples, right? Because it is very inspiring. It is very inspiring to inspire and motivate our own spiritual practice as well, right? So even even if the question is not asked during the examination, is not the main point, right? We also want to enhance our own learning and our knowledge of the Dhamma. So even without the examination question, we can still learn about all these disciples to inspire our practice. Okay, so I welcome all of you to read this book, all the stories from disciples. Okay, good. So that's one good resource for the examination, right? You can read this book. Okay, let's look at a few other examples. Anybody wants to, any questions you want me to tackle next or to explore next? Okay, maybe I can give you another resource. Let me see. Maybe I can give you another resource to explore. I am looking through my slides. I am seeing if there are any resources. Okay, maybe I can talk about, what should I talk about next? Maybe I can talk about, let me think what I want to talk about. Maybe I can talk about Samatha Vipassana, maybe. Let's see. Let me see, I want to talk about Samatha Vipassana. Do I have that in my slides last year? Let me check. Okay, yes. Okay. Let me talk next about Samatha and Vipassana since this is also a popular question. I will share my slides from last year. I'll share my slides from last year, and then I'll talk about it. If there are no other suggestions, anybody has other suggestions? I'm not sure. Okay, let me continue sharing. All right, let me share my slides and I'll share with all of you. Okay. So these are my slides from last year on Samatha and Vipassana. I'll talk about this now since it's a popular exam question. Okay, Samatha and Vipassana. What are these two things? All right. Samatha and Vipassana are two qualities that we develop in meditation. Now, sometimes people say these are two methods of meditation, or these are two types of meditation. That's not exactly. I mean, it's not wrong, but it's not exactly accurate. Like, they are not really methods or types. There are actually qualities that we develop in meditation. Does that make sense? Yeah, people say, oh, there are two types or two methods, but it's correct, it's not wrong. But it's just that the more accurate way to say it is the Samatha and Vipassana are two qualities that we develop within meditation. Okay, Samatha and Vipassana, for those of you who learn Mandarin, the Mandarin word is 止观, 止观. Let me type it in the Zoom chat. 止观, Samatha and Vipassana. Okay, those are the two qualities that we develop in meditation. Let me talk about them. All right. Okay, I'll show you a few. These are the slides from last year. Actually, I'll show you a few resources that you can apply into your essay if you write your essay. Okay. This one is the sutta. Beautiful sutta. I love this sutta. I love it. Okay, Samatha Vipassana. All right, let me read it to all of you so we can see why this is so important. Why is this important? Let's read the Buddha's words. The Buddha says, Kata mancha bhikkhave asankhatam yo bhikkhave raga kayo, dosa kayo, moha kayo, idam vujjati bhikkhave asankhatam. Okay, and what bhikkhave is the unconditioned. Asankhatam. Asankhatam means the unconstructed, the uncompounded, the uncreated, the unconditioned. Asankhatam. Kata mancha. Kata mancha. And what? Kata mancha. Katama. And what? And what is the asankhatam? And what is the unconditioned? The Buddha says, Yo bhikkhave raga kayo. Raga is rapacity. What is rapacity? Rapacity is grasping greed. Grasping greed. Your greed and your desire, your grasping desire, your addiction. Okay, that's raga. Another word is infatuation. Raga. Infatuation. Raga. The idea of raga here, the idea of raga, you all know what's the idea of raga? I will explain the idea of raga. The idea of raga is the dyeing of color. You know how you dye your clothes with color? Okay, you dye, or maybe you dye your hair with color, or you dye whatever in color. So the idea of raga here is actually color. Color. So let's say you cut your, sometimes your clothing, you have a color stain on your clothing. Maybe you eat food, okay, you eat food and then there's a food stain on your clothing and you try to wipe it away, correct or not? And then the color still stains on your clothing, correct? It's very difficult to get rid of the color, correct or not? That is raga. It is very sticky. You know what is sticky? Sticky, it sticks to your shirt. You cannot take it away. And then of course you use the washing machine and you use the detergent, is it detergent? The washing liquid and the washing detergent to wash your clothing, and that's fine. Okay, then you get rid of the color. That's fine. Okay. So my point is, the point of raga here is the stickiness. Stickiness. Imagine you color your hair, you dye your hair with color, and then you try to take away the color of your hair. Have you tried? You tried? Very, very almost impossible, right? You have to dye it again. You have to dye it with another color, maybe. Okay. So this is raga. It is very sticky. So what is the opposite of raga? Anyone knows what is the opposite of raga? Opposite of raga is viraga. What is viraga? Fading away. Viraga is the fading away of the color, the fading away of our grasping desire, the fading away of our greed and rapacity. That is viraga. How the color fades away. That is viraga. So color to fade away is not easy because color is sticky, right? Imagine you write with ink. You use pen, the ink of the pen to write on your paper, and then you try to rub it. You try to rub it with your hand or your finger or an eraser. It's not easy, right? Because the color is very sticky. That is raga. And viraga is the fading away of that color. Understand? All right, so another word for raga is infatuation. What is infatuation? You all know this English word? Infatuation. This is English, infatuation. When you're infatuated with something, you cannot let go of the thing. Correct or not? When you're infatuated with someone or something, you cannot let go. You are obsessed. You're infatuated. You cannot let go. You have an intense grasping and addiction after that thing. Correct or not? Yeah. So that is raga, infatuation. What is kaya or kayo? Kaya or kayo? Kaya or kayo means ending or destruction. Ending or destruction. Kaya. Okay. Mie in Mandarin we say mie. Mie in Mandarin. Ending or destruction. That is kaya. Not kaya. Kaya is body. Kaya is body. But this is kaya. Kayo. Okay. So raga kayo. Raga kayo is the destruction of rapacity. The destruction of infatuation. Raga kayo. And then dosa kayo. Dosa is, what is dosa? Dosa is our oppression, our anger, our hostility, our hatred, our malice. You know what's malice? our malicious intention, malice. Okay, our malice, our hostility, our oppression, our anger. Okay, that is dosa. And then moha. Just now we talked about moha. Moha is our confusion, our delusion, our foolishness. Okay, our lack of understanding. The moha. So the Buddha says, raga kayo, dosa kayo, moha kayo. The destruction of infatuation, the destruction of hostility, the destruction of delusion. Idang gucati bhikkhave asankatang. This bhikkhave is called the unconditioned, the asankatang. Okay, then the Buddha asks the next question. Kata mocha bhikkhave asankata gami maggo samatov cha vipassana cha ayang vachati bhikkhave asankata gami maggo. What is asankata? This is asankata. Gami. Gami means leading towards, going towards. We say Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. What is Gacchami? Gacchami means I go, Gacchami. I go to the Buddha for refuge. So Kata Mocha Bhikkhave Asankata Gami Maggo. Magga means path. Magga means path. In Mandarin it's Tao. Tao Lu, the Tao, Magga, path. Okay. What is the path that gami, that goes to the asankata, that leads to the asankata? The Buddha says, sammato cha vipassana cha. Sammata and vipassana. This is the path that leads to the unconditioned. This is how important samatha vipassana is. All right. Okay, let's continue reading. Okay, now what is the meaning, right? Okay, samatha, you have many different translations. You can use different translations in your essay if you want to. I like serenity. That is my preferred translations. Another one that is my preferred translation, serenity for samatha. Another one that is also quite popular is tranquility. Tranquility or calm. Calm is also another popular translation. All right. So these are different English words that try to translate the Pali, the word in the Pali. Okay. Tranquility. Okay, let's read. The term samatha can be translated as calmness or tranquility. All right. Okay. To settle the mind, making it steady and quiet. Okay. All right. Let's look at a few examples. Okay. Vipassana. Vipassana is two words. Pasana. Pasati. Pasana is pasati. Pasati means to see. To see. That's why the Mandarin translation is quan, because we see. Quan. Quan, see, pasati. And then V, what is V? Okay, V is a word with many different meanings. Okay, V can mean something like very clear, clear. V can also mean special or intense, a special kind of seeing, intense. Okay, V can also means in many ways. In many ways. Another meaning of V is distinct. Distinct. What is distinct? You all know what is distinct? Distinct seeing. Distinct means you are able to make distinctions. You know what is distinctions? Differences. Example, let me give you an example. You are able to distinguish what is good and evil. You are able to distinguish when the heart is present with, you're able to distinguish when mindfulness is present in the heart, when mindfulness is not present in the heart. You are able to distinguish a heart of love and a heart of hate. You are able to distinguish the feeling of pleasant feeling and the feeling of painful feeling. This is distinct V. You're able to distinguish, you're able to make distinctions, you're able to analyze your mind and the mental factors. Understand? So this is distinct seeing. So V is a very special word. It means many things. It means clear seeing, special seeing. Let me write it up. Clear seeing, special seeing, intense seeing, distinct seeing, seeing in many ways, from many angles. This is vipassana. Very beautiful word, huh? See, this is how skillful the Buddha is in his language of samatha vipassana. This is vipassana. The Buddha chooses a very special word to highlight this practice of seeing. So this is vipassana, clear seeing, special seeing, distinct seeing, seeing in many ways from many angles. Understand? Right, let's read. This one is by Bhikkhu Analayo. Let's read this. The term vipassana can be derived from the verb pasati, to see, and the prefix vi, which in the present context connotes intensification and also a sense of analytical separation, distinct separation. To convey these nuances of analytical and intensified seeing, a suitable way of translating vipassana is insight. A lot of people translate vipassana as insight, but it's not the only translation. Some translate it as clear seeing. Bhikkhu Brahmali translates it as clear seeing. Bhante Agachita translates it as distinct seeing. Okay, I'll give you my favorite translation. My favorite translation is discernment. That is my favorite translation. I think it's from Bhikkhu Sujato, if I recall correctly. Anyway, these are all different translations. You can pick any different translations, no problem. As long as you make it clear in your essay that you are translating the word vipassana. Understand or not? You need to make clear that this is the word you are translating, because there are different translations. The most popular one is probably insight. I think insight is the most common one. Correct or not? I mean, you all might have your own preferred translation. Okay, so you can use your favorite translation, no problem, as long as you make it clear what you are translating, okay, in your essay for the examination. Okay, let's read this. In general, to develop vipassana is to develop vision, understanding, and insight in regard to formations, and above all, to presently arisen ones. What is formations here? The answer is sankhara. Sankhara. You look at the formations and the constructions, okay, of the mind, okay, and you have to develop vipassana. What is greed? What is hatred? What is metta? What is jealousy? What is generosity? What is saddha? What is faith? All these you need to see how they arise in the mind. This is vipassana, okay? The central aspect to be seen into is impermanence. You ultimately, you want to use vipassana to see anicca, impermanence, a crucial aspect of meditative wisdom, and the basis into the other two characteristics of conditioned existence, dukkha and anatta. Though concerned with what may seem to be the less appealing aspects of existence, the development of vipassana can lead to the arising of sublime forms of delight and happiness. Okay? All right, good. These are very good examples. You can read this book. I recommend that you read this book. This book is Buddhist Meditation Theory and Practice in the Pali Canon. It is a very, very long book, so it might be too much for your essay because it's a lot of information. So you might need to select certain paragraphs or certain passages if you want to learn more and to use examples in your essay writing. All right, good. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is a very good. This paragraph is a very good word analysis of the word samatha. Word analysis of the word samatha. Let me read it to you. It's a very, very precise analysis. Serenity is explained in Abhidhamma, samatha. What fixes the mind aright, causes it to be not dependent on any, causes it to be unmoved, undisturbed, tranquilized, and non-attached. The rightness of the faculty is called samadhi. Okay, and then the Visuddhimagga gives another word analysis: samadhana, concentration, unification of mind, chittasa ekagata. Okay, all right. So this is a word analysis. So you can write that in your essay as well if you can remember, if you can remember. Okay, so these are more examples. Let me look at some other examples. Okay, yes. The purpose of samatha and vipassana, there is a specific purpose. Okay, in the suttas, the specific purpose. The cultivation of samatha is, the purpose of the cultivation of samatha is leading to the ending of lust, infatuation, raga, okay, emotional defilements, your lust, your jealousy, okay, this is raga, infatuation. Okay, and the purpose of the cultivation of vipassana is leading to the ending of ignorance, avidya, moha, cognitive defilements. One is emotional defilements, one is cognitive defilements. So they have a specific purpose. And so when you have both together, it's very powerful. Correct or not? When you have samatha and vipassana together, boom, all your defilements are eliminated, are eradicated. Okay, very powerful. So they have a specific purpose, so you have to understand that. All right, this is the training of samatha and vipassana. Okay, very powerful when you combine them. Okay, very powerful. Okay, let's see if we have any more examples. Vipassana is seeing things with knowledge in different ways. Okay, I've talked about this. V means various or different aspects. Okay. Vipassana means a knowledge that sees in extraordinary ways, in special ways. Remember just now I've also shared about it. All right. So these are the different meaning of V. So V has many different meanings. And when you combine V with pasana, pasati means vipassana. So this is a very powerful word. You can see how the Buddha chooses his language. You can see that, right? V and pasati, vipassana. So the Buddha is very what's the right word? The Buddha is very skillful. The Buddha is very precise. And the Buddha is very beautiful in his skillful use of language. This is the Buddha's language. So it's very good to learn the language of the suttas. Then you can see, wow, this is the meaning of the words, all right? How the Buddha explains. Okay. It is stated that the result of practicing samatha is the development of mind. Chitta bhavana, development of the heart. Chitta, the mind. Okay, chitta bhavana, and the result of chitta bhavana is that lust is abandoned. Lust, your raga, your infatuation, your raga is abandoned. And the result of abandoning lust is that you get liberation by mind. Liberation by mind is ceto vibhuti. Ceto vibhuti, the liberation of the mind or the liberation of the heart. Okay? Vipassana leads to the development of wisdom. Panya bhavana. And it results in the abandonment of ignorance, no more avidya. And this result is liberation by wisdom. Panya vimutti. Alright, so development of chitta, development of panya. And then liberation by the mind, ceto vibhuti, and liberation by wisdom, panya vibhuti. So together you develop your chitta, you develop your panya. You develop your heart and you develop your wisdom. Very powerful, okay? So this one we say, in Mandarin we say, 智慧和慈悲具足. In English we say, endowed with wisdom and compassion. Vidya charana sampanno. Endowed with wisdom and compassion. You have wisdom and you have compassion. You have the liberation by panya and you have the liberation by the mind. Both together. So again, this is a very powerful development. All right. Let's look at more examples. This is the sutta reference. Sutta reference. Okay. Dve me bhikkhave dhamma vijja bhagiya katame dve samato cha vipassana cha. These two qualities have a share in clear knowing. Okay, what two? Serenity and discernment, or tranquility and insight. All right. Okay, samato bhavito kamata. Samato bhikkhave bhavito kamata manubhoti chittang bhaviyati. Chittang bhaviyati. Chitta bhavana, the development of the mind. And then when the heart is developed, Yo rago so pahiyati, the lust or the infatuation is abandoned. And then the Buddha says, Vipassana bhavida kamata manubhoti. What is the purpose of developing Vipassana? Panya bhaviyati, wisdom or understanding is developed. Panya bhavita kamata Panya bhavita kamata manubhoti. Ya avidya sa pahiyati. What is the purpose of developing panya? Ignorance is departed. Ignorance is abandoned. Okay, and then you have Ceto Vimutti. Remember I said Ceto Vimutti, the freedom of the heart, the liberation of the mind. And then you have Panya Vimutti, the freedom by wisdom, a liberation by wisdom. Okay, good. You can read this. It's a good sutta reference. Again, this one you should and You can and you should write it in your essay. You don't necessarily have to write the Pali, maybe you might not be able to remember, but you can write the English, okay? And also the sutta quote. Okay, good. Let's go on. Okay, you can also find out more information about Samatha and Vipassana with this Sutta study resource. You can find this PDF, this course book, okay? This is by Ayasma Agachita. Some of you know him, Ayasma Agachita. His Samatha and Vipassana Sutta study. Very helpful, okay? You can go and explore this resource, okay? This one is by Bhikkhu Brahmali. You can read Bhikkhu Brahmali. He translates it as really seeing or clear seeing, okay? I think he uses clear seeing. Yeah. All right. Another good book is this book. You can read it if you have it. This one is a bit hard to find. This book. Okay. I have the book. It's a really good book. You can read it if you can find it lah. Or you can look at my slides. You can also read it through my slides. All right. This essay. This essay is what is this essay? Meditation in the Light of Day. Very good essay. Okay. About samatha and vipassana. This is by Bhikkhu Jnana Subhanu. But this is a long essay, so you might not be able to apply everything, but you can pick some of the parts to apply in your essay. And you can also watch this video. What is Samatha and Vipassana? Very good. This video is around 20 minutes long. You can watch this to learn more. Very good. Very good video. When my friends ask me, what is Samatha and Vipassana? This is almost always the first video I share to them. I say, you watch this video. This is very clear. So they watch it and they say, oh, now I know what is Samatha and Vipassana. So if you want to know, you can also watch this video, YouTube video, 20 minutes, around 20 minutes long, okay? Bande Agachita, okay? All right. And then this is also a popular question, the Buddha's contributions to humanity. Yeah, you can read some of the resources through different articles and essays online. You can read if you want to. All right. Yeah, okay, good. Let me stop here. I think our time is up. And yeah, I think our time is up. Yes. So we will continue with some other more examples and past year questions for the next week. Okay. If you have any questions or you have any requests, you want to say, Wei Ken, please discuss this question. You can write in the WhatsApp group. Then next week I will discuss that question. Okay, to help you understand more. All right. Or if you want to share your answer, you can also share. Next week, you can also share your answer, okay? Then we can all learn from you. Also can, very good. So it doesn't have to just be me giving my answer. You can also give your answer. Then we can learn from each other. We can discuss with each other. Okay, so let's continue to meet next week, next Sunday. Okay, same time, 7:30 here. And we'll get a group photo now. And then, yeah, for any questions or anything, we can write in the WhatsApp group and we can further discuss. All right, any reflections or any comments or any questions for anyone? If you have any questions or you have any feedback or any reflections you want to share, what you have learned today, any insights that have inspired you today, anyone? If you want to share, you can share verbally or you can write in the Zoom chat as well. Okay, all right, let's turn on our video camera. We'll get a group photo. If you're available. If not, that's fine. If you're available, you can. Okay, I'll give you all 10 seconds to turn on your video camera. Let's get a good photo. All right, good. Okay, excellent. All right. Oh, good. Good to see you, Brother Paul. All right, let's take a group photo. Hang on. Okay, let me select adjust my position. All right, good. All right, everyone look in the camera and smile. 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, one more. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, I've taken the photo. Thank you, everyone. Let's do our closing sharing of merit. Thank you so much, everyone, for the participation today. I will share my slides for our closing puja. Is this session helpful? I hope it helps. I'm not sure, but I hope it helps. All right. Thanks for everyone for participating. Hang on. Let me. Oops. Okay. So let me share the closing puja slides. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Let's go into closing. Okay, I want to request for a dedication of merit. I've shared this in the first session on Thursday as well. One of my good friends, she's one of the participants and also the MCs in the Shah Alam Buddhist Society. She sadly passed away last week, and I want to bring her to mind. I want to wish and let us keep our thoughts and prayers and blessings with her. I want to wish for all our blessings, all our meritorious power and energy to accompany her on her next journey of life. May the Buddha and Dhamma and Sangha be her blessing. May all the peace and the protection and the power and the guidance of the Triple Gem be with her wherever she goes. May she have a good rebirth, and may she continue to be blessed with all blessings and to be guided by the Dhamma. May she continue to find a greater blessings and happiness in her next life. And life after life, may she continue to encounter the Buddha's Dhamma until she attains final Nibbana. All right, so let us bring her to mind. We dedicate our merit to all our departed ones, all our departed relatives, family, friends. We wish that they continue on this path of Dhamma. May the guidance and blessings of the Triple Gem be with them. All right, let us chant the verses of sharing of merit. Imang no punya bhagang sabba satanang dema. Imang no punya bhagang sabba satanang dema. Imang no punya bhagang sabba satanang dema. We share this merit with all beings. May they rejoice in our merit and be well, happy, and peaceful always. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita huntu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita huntu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita huntu nyatayo. Let my merits accrue to my departed relatives. May they be well and happy. Let us make our aspirations. Imina punya kamena mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yavanipana pandiya. By the grace of these merits that I've acquired, may I never meet evil and wicked people. May I meet the wise and virtuous until I attain my final emancipation. Idang me punyang asavakaya vahang hotu. Idang me punyang nibbanasa pachayo hotu. By the power of this merit, may it lead to the extinction of defilements. By the power of this merit, may I attain the final realization of Nibbana. Sabbe satta sukhi hontu. May all beings be well and happy. 愿一切众生离苦得乐. Semoga semua makhluk hidup berbahagia. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu, brothers and sisters, thank you for your participation today, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah. Thank you for Brother Khor today's sharing session also. Yeah. Hope everyone can learn the tips to how to answer the high and advanced question. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Good night. Sadhu,
Yeah.
sadhu.
Good night, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
to brother or sister Ong, Elvenar. Thank you. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu. All right. Good. Let me stop recording now. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu.